Well, if you're like me, you've owned more than one of these inexpensive string trimmers. And while they're great for trimming out around your yard, replacing that old push mower and or hand shears, they do come with a few problems. One of those problems is winding the trimmer line. Now, the Sun Joe manual makes no mention of how you should wind the line. They much prefer that you buy it on the pre-wound spools, and they'll sell you the pre-wound line. Now, as you see here, if you just divide the line in half, put the middle in one of the slots, and then wind the line without taking any special provisions, the line will automatically unspool on you. And this can, of course, jam the trimmer, and it definitely won't be feeding very good. Now, hopefully before you used it, you paid attention to that existing round spool that came with the trimmer. Just in case you didn't, we're going to take a look at that here, and we're going to see how you can wind this line without it unspooling on you and without jamming your trimmer. Now, the first thing I took note of here is there's definitely some lane changing with line going on. Now, if you pay close attention, you'll note that about every 3 revolutions, the line changes lanes, and that means 2 lines are on the same side, and then another half revolution, the opposite line changes lanes. This is the factory's solution to keep the line from unspooling as line is fed out. Obviously, the maximum amount of line that you can have before it changes lanes in this case is about 3 revolutions. Now, if you pay attention on that last revolution, it goes up there and does the U-bend by catching the notches at the top of the reel. Obviously, the bottom line must change lanes to catch its notches on the opposite side. Now, as you can see here, once you get all the line off, it looks like a pretty good rat's nest. And you definitely have to straighten this out and find the middle of it before you can wrap the line around the spool again and restart. Okay, here I'm going to start wrapping the line the same way the factory did. That first revolution, I'm going to use one line and catch those 2 top nicks in the spool to hold the line, and then I'll go another half a revolution and I'll switch lanes again, and I'll let that lower line catch the opposite side. And as you can see here, you got to be real careful about how you change lanes. If you don't, you'll hold the line away from the spool. Even if you pull it tight, I haven't pulled it completely tight here, you'll see sometimes the line doesn't exactly drop back in place. The line, when it catches the 2 notches, is held away from the spool. So you got to be real careful about how you do this. Otherwise, of course, it's going to mean you get a whole lot less line on your spool. Now, the main advantage of using those top notches to restrain each lane of the line at the start is that the trimmer will not tend to throw that last 18 inches or so line when it gets toward the end of the spool. Obviously, throwing that line back at your ankles as you're using the trimmer is an undesirable event in itself, and definitely could lead to some minor injuries to your ankles. After thinking about that line throwing problem for a while, I decided to try something different. What I've done here is take a 3/32 drill bit and drill a hole as near to the center as I can, and then come back on the opposite side of the divider and drill a hole opposite that. Next, take the line, double it back, and wind it in the correct arrow pointing range. Next, I use the factory method of alternating lanes every 3rd revolution. That utilizes opposite sides on half revolutions for changing the line over to the opposite lane. Now, when I get to the end of the lines, I use the upper notches to hold the line in place, and that makes sure the line can't unspool while it's actually out of the trimmer. And now, right before I put the line in the trimmer, I just take the line out of those upper notches and install the trimmer, and the line doesn't unspool and it's ready to be used. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you found this video both interesting and useful. If you did, please consider giving me a like, and definitely consider subscribing. I've definitely got a few more little tricks up my sleeve I'm going to put forward in some more videos, so I hope you check back often. So until our paths cross again, y'all take care of yourself, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye, y'all.